We're going to look at Johnson & Johnson here off of last week's earnings. We closed the day at 156.92, had a high in here of 158 and a low of 155. Where does that currently put us here on the weekly chart? Well, it puts us in between this 158.83 and this 154 range right here. It's a $4 range. You can see that we only traded in it a couple times here over the past year or so. So this is going to be an area of concern for us as how quickly can we get out of this, right? So we're going to have to go down here and break 154 and we're going to stay down here, consolidate, or are we going to stay above this 158 and then work our way to this 200 SMA? That's going to be the question because right now, basically, RSI is neutral. We're coming off an earnings beat, which is good, but also JNJ is also notoriously one of those old school boring stocks for us in here. So we're going to see what happens. You have IV rank is still 40, so you still have a little bit of juice in here with your premiums off the volatility that came in today. So that is also good, but right around a $2 expected move. So more or less, we're trading in between right in the smack dab in the middle of this area that we just called out, the 158s and these 154s. 9-day EMA is trading at 157.44. That's going to be something that we're going to watch going forward here on the weekly. And then as we dig in deeper to the dailies here in a second, we're going to show you why we care about that 157 range. But above this 158, the 200 SMA is going to be a nice big resistance for us. You can see that we've only broke above it and held for only a couple weeks here over the past year or so. So that is going to be an area of a harsh resistance for us as we get up closer there to right around those 163 areas. It's currently trading at 162.88 to be exact. Support wise, below this 154, you don't really have anything until that nice whole level of 150. So 150 is going to be your big support in here that we care about below the 154s, and then above 158, the support or the resistance we care about is going to be wherever that 200 SMA does end up. But all in all, the 158 and the 154s is what we're looking for here on the weekly chart. Now, if we go into the daily chart here, you can see where our 200 SMA currently is trading and then that 9-day EMA. So the 200 SMA is more or less right next to that 157 level, about 20 cents off. So that is why we're caring about that 9-day EMA on the weekly, because that's kind of lining up right where this 200 SMA is here on the daily chart. So watching for a crossover again of this 9-day EMA above this 200 SMA here could signal something bullish for us in here and might give us a nice little push above these 158. So that's why we care about this 200 SMA, or that's why we care about the 9-day EMA on the weekly, is because it's kind of matching up right where this 200 SMA is here on the daily chart. So that is all in all what we're looking for here. RSI again, neutral, nothing, and then volume again, below average in here from what we usually have. So nothing really crazy in here. We just kind of have to wait and see if we're going to get a push above this 158 or if we're going to get a smack down below this 154 in here. And it's going to be interesting to see how long we can trade in this channel. Because even if you go on the daily to about a couple weeks ago, it did not like this channel at all. And if you go back to right around February, we were only in here for about a week or so before we ran out of it and then stayed up here, or then below because it was a harsh resistance right going into that channel. And then once we got in that channel, just a lot of volatility and we sprung right out of it. So it's going to be interesting to see how long we stay in between these 154s and this 158. But again, those are levels we're looking at. Above that, the 200 SMA on the weekly, and then below the 154s, we're looking at the 150. IV ranking here, as we mentioned before, is 40. So it's a little bit juiced compared to itself off of those earnings. So you thought that it would contract a whole lot more than what it did, but obviously had volatility kick in today overall in the market. $2.50 expected move by this Friday. Next Friday, right around $4. Following week, you have $5. Following week after that, $6. So basically about $1 added on to each move each week for your expected moves in here. So that's something to keep in mind too as we're looking here on JNJ. But again, what are we looking at? 158, 154. We're looking at 150, below 154 and above 158. It's wherever that 200 SMA ends up on the weekly chart. All right, guys, if you like this video, make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We also have a Discord service if you're interested, and you can find all of our socials in the description below.